Okay, alright. So today we have 5 different plants that all have different watering needs today. This Calibrachoa is very dry. The way you can tell is by how light the pot is when you pick it up. There's absolutely no water weight in it. Another way you can tell is turn it upside down and look at the roots. You can tell that there's no water anywhere in that root ball. So, when we go to water this, we're going to have to pay close attention to how much we actually get to soak into the root mass. So what you want to do is get your water source and make sure that it's not turned up too high at all. And you'll have to fill it up multiple times. As you can see, it's going all the way through and running out the bottom before it even fills up the water head. So you'll want to hold it to where it's level. You can do that by sitting on a flat surface or just holding it up. And you'll want to let this water run over it for a pretty good little while to completely penetrate all the root mass and help re-expand all that soil in the pot. I like to do this at least twice. So I'll go to another one while I'm waiting on that one to drain. This artillery fern is also very, very dry. You can tell by looking at the top of it. You see the perlite, it's really white. The bark or the potting mix is just almost crunchy when you touch it. There's no weight at all. You could just toss this thing around if you wanted to. And when you pull it out, it's also very, very dry. So we're going to do the same thing with it. Just a really slow trickle of water. And since this pot's a lot smaller, it's a little bit trickier because it'll hold less water to begin with. So it's a good bit harder to re-expand smaller pots. So we'll just leave this on here for a while. This is so dry, I don't think the water head will ever actually fill completely up because there's no surface tension. So I'll do that for a little bit and then I'll set it aside somewhere flat so it doesn't just drain down one side of the plant. And I'll go back to the one that I started with and make sure that I get this Calibrachoa again. It looks to be re-expanded. I can tell because it's getting kind of muddy on top. I can tell that the water's all going through the center of the root mass. So that one's good. Here we have a coleus, and it's already in its first stage of wilting. So you can see that the dirt's really dry as well on this one. So it's really light. Same story as these other two. You can pull it out and look.
Sorry, just this one.
You can tell that that whole root mass is just dry as a bone. So we'll fill it up. Always keep it level. If there's surface tension, make sure that you don't overflow past the watering head that you leave, that space at the top between the top of the pot and the dirt. So I fill up the watering head like that, set it aside, and let it drain out, and repeat that process until we have absorption. Now while that's going on, we'll go over here to this begonia. It's obviously not in great shape. Its problem is completely the opposite of these other ones that we've looked at, and it's been overwatered. You can tell It's real soggy. So that one does not need to be watered today. It's heavy when you pick it up. It's not light. It's not solid on the top. Oh. So that's today's lesson on watering.
On this one, what would you just continue to check it day by day until it is back to what would be a good looking?
As hot as it is today, it might actually dry out by the end of the day, depending on, you know, what the sun's doing or what kind of environment it's in. It's in a greenhouse, so it would probably be okay until tomorrow in here. But if this was in a container garden on your patio and it just sits and sits and sits, they can dry out fairly quickly. But this is very wet right now, so.
Did you have an example of one that looks good?
This Terenia, yeah. You can tell by the way you lift it up that it's still holding water from, you know, when I watered it yesterday, and the root mass is wet still somewhat, so that one doesn't need to be watered today. There's no rot. But it's mostly how heavy it feels.
Right.
And just kind of familiarizing yourself with the plant.
Right.
And when you take care of it every day, it's easier to spot because you're in there every day, so you know what to look for.
Right.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm going to make you happy, baby. I'm going to make you happy, oh, baby. I'm going to make you happy, me. Well, mama, can't you see? I'm going to make you happy, oh, baby.